Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that.
Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping 2 divisions.
The Terence Crawford being, to me, my favorite fighter. I mean, the best fighter pound for pound can be Canelo. I mean, a 147-pounder moving up to 68.
Floyd Mayweather lays out why he believes Terence Crawford cannot get past Canelo Alvarez, focusing on the steep weight gap. He explains that climbing multiple divisions isn't solely a matter of skill. It demands absorbing heavier punches, matching power, and maintaining stamina against naturally larger men. Canelo has spent years competing with big, physically imposing fighters, while Crawford is entering unfamiliar ground. According to Mayweather, that size and strength edge will outweigh Crawford's technical excellence.
Because of the weight disadvantage. I can't go all the way up to 180 or 190 pounds.
Robert Garcia stresses that Terence Crawford's limited exposure at super-middleweight could be a defining obstacle. Although Crawford has excelled across several divisions, Garcia warns that entering Canelo Alvarez's natural weight class is a far riskier leap than his earlier moves. Canelo has spent years honing his craft against naturally bigger opponents, while Crawford has yet to prove he can carry his trademark sharpness, speed, and stamina at this size. Garcia adds that Crawford's frame hasn't fully adjusted to the extra pounds, leaving him slightly less explosive and less fluid, an issue that may prove pivotal against a seasoned champion who thrives at this weight.
Jumping 2 divisions where he only had 1 fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I
think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for 1 punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not. Yeah. But I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks appreciate for coming.
Through Showbiz underscores just how enormous the stakes are in the Crawford-Canelo showdown. He reasons that if Crawford can overcome Canelo's natural size and power, his legacy would rise to unprecedented levels, placing him shoulder to shoulder with Floyd Mayweather in the conversation of all-time greats. Defeating a fighter of Canelo's stature would solidify Crawford as the premier pound-for-pound talent of his era, silencing any lingering questions about his resume. Yet Showbiz clarifies that such a win wouldn't eclipse Mayweather's place in history. Mayweather's unbeaten run and dominance across generations still stand apart. Even so, the possibility for Crawford to ascend into that rare air makes this bout a landmark moment for the sport.
Time undisputed is insane. If you were to beat Canelo, Terence Crawford, at that point, pound for pound, right under Floyd. Wherever you got Floyd, I put whatever you got him, Terence Crawford's right behind him. Unless you got him first. Okay, how about me? Because I don't have Floyd in my top 10. I have Pacquiao over Floyd. So I know somebody's about to get moist, but I would put Terence Crawford, man, that's old school. That's Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford. Like that's old. That's Joe Gans and Barbados Joe Walcott and Barbados Joe, not Jersey. I'm Barbados. Like that's old school accomplishments. Man, that's throwback. I would have to assess that. 3-time undisputed in the 4-belt era, and against who? Yo, that I don't think Pacquiao would have I don't think he achieved anything in a single fight that would be greater than Terence Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes and beating Canelo. I don't think Pacquiao achieved anything in a single fight greater than that. Not in a single fight. Beating Cotto, I still, because Cotto was weight drained. Has Floyd done anything? Well, he beat Canelo.
For Jeff, Mayweather pushes back hard on Canelo Alvarez's claim that Terence Crawford ranks above Floyd. In Jeff's view, that remark is less about reality and more about Canelo trying to raise his own profile by linking it to Floyd. Because Canelo lost decisively to Mayweather, saying Crawford is superior creates a subtle way to soften that defeat. Jeff concedes. Crawford is a tremendous talent, but insists he has yet to reach Floyd's level of dominance or compile the same resume. Floyd's perfect record and his mastery over elite opponents, Jeff argues, stand on their own, and any real comparison should wait until Crawford achieves far more.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course.
Yeah, nobody had it.
And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost. Yeah, but man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want to
make himself look like he did something great.
Joel Diaz flatly rules out Crawford's chances, stressing the sheer size gap. He reminds fans that Canelo has traded shots with genuine punchers known for heavy hands and granite chins. If Canelo handled the power of someone like Golovkin, Diaz questions how Crawford, who has mostly faced men nearer to his own natural weight, could truly hurt him. While Diaz respects Crawford's technical ability, he argues that skill alone cannot erase such a physical disparity. Fighters often underestimate the impact of moving up, he warns, until they experience the force of a naturally bigger foe. Against Canelo, Diaz sees strength and durability forming a wall Crawford simply can't scale.
You ask him who Skull is, they won't even know who he is. I don't even know who he is, but they chose him for a reason, right? A guy with a good record. But
he's a champion in
he's a champion.
He's got the kind of the other stone that's out there that Canelo needs to connect. Again, the fight against Terence Crawford.
It's a fight for Canelo to win. Simple as that. That's what I can tell you.
Then in September, if Canelo wins, he's got Terence Crawford waiting in the wings.
There is no way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, the best fighter pound for pound, can beat Canelo. A 147 pounder moving up to 68. He can only maybe go 2-3 rounds, good 2-3 rounds, and then Canelo hits him and he hurts him. Canelo's being hit by Triple G, the hardest hitter in the division, and never hurt him. But Canelo will hit Crawford and he'll hurt him. Let's put it this way. You remember the fight Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade?
Yes.
Demetrius Andrade was a great fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him at 54. He moved to 60. Fight 1 or 2. Nobody wanted to fight him at 60. So what did he do? He moved up to 68 because there was nothing for him to fight Benavidez, a big fighter like that. Look what he did in the first early round. Demetrius Andrade was in control. He was doing great. But once that weight starts kicking in, it takes over. There is no way that Crawford can beat Canelo. Turkey on the sheet. It's a big fan of Terence Crawford. He wants to give him a good payday, and simple as that. That's all it is, man.
The debate over ring dimensions adds another strategic wrinkle. Whether the canvas measures 18 feet or stretches to 22, most observers contend it won't dictate the result. Crawford's camp feels a larger space would let him glide, pivot, and create angles to blunt Canelo's forward drive. Yet analysts point out that Canelo has performed in every kind of ring, adapting smoothly no matter the layout. While extra space might tilt slightly toward Crawford's movement, it cannot erase Canelo's physical strength and punching authority. In the end, success hinges on timing, tactics, and composure, not the tape measure.
One of the biggest things in this Canelo-Crawford fight we are not talking about is the ring size. If these guys are fighting in the non-traditional 18 by 18 ring, you're gonna want to put your money on Canelo, guys. It is a big difference. Losing out on that extra 4 feet is gonna be an issue for Crawford. It's still possible. Crawford's talented, he's athletic, he has all the potential in the world to pull off a crazy upset here. No matter the ring size, it don't matter. Terence Crawford's that brilliant, he's that excellent. But I'm gonna tell you, man, losing out on that 4 feet is gonna hurt his odds. It's the same thing with 22 feet. Like I said, I don't know what ring they're going with, but if it is in the 22 feet, it's gonna hurt Canelo's odds by a pretty decent margin. Maybe not as much as it's gonna hurt Crawford odds in the 18, but it's still gonna hurt it. You're giving Crawford an extra 4 feet to pivot, maneuver, slip, bob, weave, do whatever he wants. That's gonna give Canelo some issues. I feel like we're not talking about this enough. I heard Turkey said it was gonna be an 18. That was a really long time ago. Like I said, I don't know if they've confirmed what it's gonna be quite yet, but I think it's interesting. Once we get the official announcement, you guys, that's when you place your bets.
One overlooked factor in the Canelo-Crawford matchup is the ring dimensions. If the bout happens inside a tighter 18 by 18 surface, Canelo gains the edge. Cutting off angles becomes easier, and Crawford's movement gets trimmed by a crucial 4 feet. That lost space limits pivots, slips, and lateral resets. Crawford is gifted enough to adapt, yet the narrower area undeniably reduces his margin for error. Flip it to a 22-foot ring, and the equation tilts the other way. Extra canvas gives Crawford more room to circle, set traps, and force Canelo to chase. Canelo can still be effective, but every added step favors Crawford's rhythm. Until the final dimensions are confirmed, speculation over betting lines is premature. Yet it's clear the ring size could subtly shift the odds.
Hey y'all, the simple real fact is, Terence Crawford never looked that good fighting anybody but Errol Spence. Another real fact is, y'all put too much on Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Y'all act like he just beat fucking Jesus or Thanos or something. Okay, I get it. Errol Spence was that guy. He beat him. He dominated him. He won that fight. But y'all take that and y'all put so much on that fight, but then y'all look at the Madrimov fight and say, he was a tricky fighter. He's hard for anybody. No one can beat Madrimov. He's the second best fighter in the world because he went 12 rounds with Crawford. Not the case. Y'all put too much on the Errol Spence fight and y'all don't put enough on the Madrimov fight. Then we go back to Canelo. Y'all say Canelo, he don't stop nobody. When last time he knocked nobody? If he can't knock out Berlanga, he's not gonna knock out. If he can't knock out him, he's not gonna knock out Crawford, bruh. Just like Crawford went up to 54 and he couldn't get a knockout, Canelo has gone up to 75. He couldn't knock out Bivol. He went up to 68, and those guys are way bigger. He's fighting guys way bigger than him. Crawford couldn't knock out Madrimov because he's his size. So you think he gonna knock out Canelo? He's bigger than Canelo. Bro, Canelo got a granite chin. I don't know if y'all know the Canelo. And the only people who's saying that Crawford's gonna knock Canelo out is people who has to be casuals. They probably have not watched the fight since the Tank last fight, or they probably ain't watched the fight since the Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford fight, because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all niggas didn't even see that Madrimov fight. Y'all just synced it and y'all running with it. Cut it out.
Crawford's emphatic victory over Errol Spence convinced many fans he could handle Canelo. That night underlined his precision, ability to adjust mid-fight, and relentless finishing instinct, proving clear supremacy at welterweight. Yet analysts warn that Spence, skilled as he is, doesn't carry the same natural size or physicality Canelo brings, making the leap in challenge far greater than it first appears.
Be too soon for Xander, but who knows, man? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like Canelo needed more seasoning when he fought Floyd? Or do you think that Floyd just got his number, period?
Yeah, I think he was very inexperienced when he fought Floyd. You know, he's a different fighter, but see, everybody's different. That fight is what made Canelo become the fighter that he is today. So, you know, that's why boxing, man, is like when they shame guys for losses, it's like, man, you just got to really see how a fighter bounces back from a loss. It's like, cause, you know, when Canelo lost to Floyd, there was a lot of things that Canelo learned in that fight that he added to his game. Next thing you know, Canelo started moving his head and his counters got better and his speed, and he understood timing. He understood how to like break guys down differently because he learned that off Floyd. So I think it was a good learning experience for Canelo. And then, you know, I think that kind of fight is gonna help him in the Crawford fight.
Sebastian Fundora cautions that Crawford might not fully grasp how punishing a bout with Canelo could be. He notes that thriving at super middleweight isn't just about raw skill. It demands years of conditioning and adjustment, something Canelo has refined by consistently facing larger men. By contrast, Crawford is entering this weight class for the first time, a leap that could sap him physically and mentally. Fundora suggests the true cost may only become clear after the fight, when the toll of challenging a seasoned, naturally bigger champion is fully revealed.
Could be. We'll see what PBC has for us.
Your favorite, Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course, he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
What about Ennis? He's the new addition to 154. He's yet to fight there. Canelo brought him in camp specifically because he's a switch hitter like Terence Crawford. What do you make of Ennis just not being in your division and then him contributing to Canelo's camp heading into this fight? Is that a good move?
I think it's good for Canelo's camp to have a fighter like Ennis. Because, he likes to switch right-handed, southpaw. I think Canelo probably didn't need that. But, you know, the fact that Ennis went might cause a little bit of drama. I think he did for a dramatic effect. But, you know, great fighter at 147. But 154 is a different division. They have me in there, so we'll see what he can.
10 analysts frequently debate whether Crawford's brilliance translates into the same excitement Canelo routinely delivers. Crawford's performances are marked by precision, patience, and near-flawless execution. But critics argue they sometimes lack the explosive swings that draw casual viewers. Canelo, on the other hand, has forged his brand around highlight reel moments, thudding body shots, knockouts, and tense back-and-forth wars that ignite arenas. Even if Crawford were to outpoint or outthink Canelo, many experts believe that alone wouldn't automatically crown him the sport's global ambassador. To seize that mantle, he would likely need to pursue and beat other elite, naturally bigger opponents such as Dimitri Bivol, proving his dominance across even broader terrain. Only then, they suggest, could he truly rival Canelo's reach and command of the boxing spotlight.
More nervous, you know, the closer you get, the more outlandish these statements were. We had one outlandish one that his fighting style is not entertaining. Right, Canelo's fighting style is more entertaining than Terence Crawford's. I don't know what lens you're looking through, right? Well, why isn't Terence Crawford's fighting style entertaining? So that's one thing. Well, here's the next one. Now, I don't know. Check this out. They're saying that Terence Crawford won't even be great if he were to defeat Canelo Alvarez. He won't be great if he defeats Canelo Alvarez because all the stuff he's done until now, becoming 2-division undisputed, beating a lot of undefeated fighters and a lot of fighters with one loss, seems to not be anything. But even beating Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing, 4-division champion, undisputed super middleweight champion, none of that would matter because they list fighters that he would have to beat to become great. And most of them are fighters that 4-division champ, Canelo Alvarez, that he won't fight. He would have to beat Artur Beterbiev, right? Canelo ain't fighting him. He would have to beat Dimitri Bivol, who Canelo won't fight again, definitely at 168 pounds because he wants to fight him at 175 because he wants to have the excuse that weight could be too big for him. Dimitri Bivol wants to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 so he can become 2-division undisputed. Canelo doesn't want that. But Crawford has to beat that guy, right? Crawford has to beat David Benavidez as well, right? We know Canelo doesn't want to fight him, but Crawford has to beat him to become great, right? Remember, Canelo's great already. Then he would have to fight David Morrell.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next.